no, you just call. You just call and be like, "I want the next level," and they give you more bandwidth. It's yeah, so I have, like so the basic tier
Mhm.
bandwidth for me is, I don't know, $50 or whatever. If I jump to the next tier bandwidth see, it's all a fucking scam. We get back to it again about the so they only give you this much internet. They could give you all the internet, but you have to pay more to have it's like paying the fast track to drive really fast in the one lane that nobody's in. That's when you get better internet.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
You
to
can
look into
get
that.
the regular internet like everybody
I'm
else
gonna
and
have
get
to
in the
look into
traffic
that.
freeways, but if you want better internet, you just have to pay for it.
So,
And they just open up more lanes for
we're
you.
here. Yeah, I mean, we stream, but not like a ton.
I stream
Yeah.
so much, so that's why I upgraded. We're here. Hey, happy day.
That's your thing.
Officially
Go
happy
Kings,
Stanley
go.
Cup playoffs. It started yesterday. The Go Kings go. They start today. They got their 4 games they're about to lose to get kicked out of the Stanley Cup playoffs because they're playing the best team in the league that is really, really good. And I just lost you. $41, $40.
All right, so go Kings, go.
So Go Kings go. Although they're going to probably lose in 4 games. Don't come at me, but I'm a realist. What can I say?
Who are they playing in the first round?
They are playing the Colorado Avalanche, who are the best team in the league right now, and they're just perfection. Like they do everything right. They don't ever do anything wrong. So we'll see. I'm not optimistic.
We shall see.
Yeah.
All right, well, hello everybody on this lovely April spring morning.
We're getting closer to May. Years just
We are.
flying
It's
by.
halfway, more than halfway through April. Yeah. All right. So what are you sharing with me today? Let's just get rolling.
All right, I got a lot of stuff on my mind. I got a lot of things that have popped up over the times today. Oh, yesterday there was a bomb threat. Somebody called Laguna Beach and said I buried a bomb in the beach. So they evacuated the beach. It was swatting. There was a bomb threat called to the Nike store at Del Amo Mall. Also swatting, not unfounded. There apparently was a bomb threat on a plane that had to divert and go back to Chicago. There was an overdose death in the Target parking lot in Manhattan Beach. There is the new trend of all of the kids say, let's all meet at the beach. It's happened twice in Hermosa, once at Dockweiler, and then last night in Huntington. And so then like 200 teenagers come and then they all fight. But on a positive note, there is a young man who is playing for the CSUN men's volleyball team who is friggin' rad to watch. But he's gay and he has a gay flair to the way he plays, and he's a fucking badass, and I am all for it, and I'm enjoying watching his videos. That's what I got. I got a lot going on in my mind.
So did all of that stuff happen in one day?
Well, the fights have been kind of spread out over the last 2 weeks, but yeah, basically all of this has happened yesterday.
Jesus.
Yeah, yesterday.
Wow. And, I got to say, that spreads
Yeah.
the emergency services kind of thin. If that's the goal, then mission accomplished.
Well, they're already thin.
Let's not do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I have a few...
peace and harmony.
I have a few thoughts. Yeah, no kidding. So, The four people that are listening, watching this podcast, screamed at me, and I screamed at myself listening back to it. But it was American Gladiators, not American Ninja Warriors, from our last episode. And I discovered
Sorry.
that American Gladiators as a show is back, all new, all new people, and it's on Prime, Amazon Prime. So
Okay.
if you want to relive that, you can. Um, I came across something that was a little disturbing. Crawdad ice cream. Yuck.
Ew.
Um, so I had to delve into that. So basically, it's a vanilla-based ice cream, and what they do is they do like a traditional crawdad boil, where you boil it with the spices and the butter and the whatever, and then you strain all the goo out and mix that with the ice cream to flavor the ice cream. And then you put a live boil, or not alive, you put a whole boiled crawdad on top of the ice cream as like
Mm-mm.
decoration. And so you're supposed to eat it like you would eat a crawdad, where rip the head off, suck the stuff out, and then you use the
Mm-mm.
shell to scoop the ice cream like a spoon. And I was like, oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. I like Old Bay, but on fish and shellfish, shellfish and dairy do not mix. They just don't.
I mean, unless
So
it's
yeah,
butter,
gross. It's some
which is
place in
technically still a.
some yeah, right. Just butter, melted butter. But it's some place in Texas that started this, and I think it's kind of catching on in other places. But I just was like, oh no, thank you, no, thank you, not having. And lastly, we kind of touched on this maybe an episode or two ago, is I did finally watch the Jury Duty Company Retreat second season. Unhinged, hilarious, very good TV watching. Highly recommended. And I have to say that you
Very
and
good.
I, in our former lives, we went to plenty of these types of, you know,
So many.
retreats, conventions, meetings, and a lot of this stuff rings true, because we had to do my least favorite part of these types of um, meetings were these stupid team building games that they made you do. And yours was probably for sales. I think they focus on performance and goal setting. Ours was all leadership and team building. And oh God, I don't miss those at all, at all.
I think in some of the instances in the show, they under exaggerated some of the behaviors, but still, like, yeah, all like like you think it's not real, but like that whole thing could have absolutely happened. It's completely believable. Like there is nothing where you're like, there's no way it's all 100% believable.
Yeah. They weren't drinking enough, number one. But because it was a
True.
show, maybe they just couldn't, they couldn't. And we never had to surrender our phones, but I understand for this show, they're filming a show. They had
Yeah.
to surrender the phones. But we had a cell phone jail. So if your phone rang
Yeah.
during the meeting, your phone got taken away. But yeah, it was. It was unhinged, and just some of the commentary, the sidebar commentary, they must have just been ad libbing. It was hilarious. Highly recommended. Um, yeah. Okay, so our topic today, we are going to talk about how we entertained ourselves. Um, Growing up, and we're from the generation where we barely had like 3 TV channels. We had radio, we had music, we didn't have streaming, we didn't have social media, we didn't have internet, we didn't have all the distractions and cool gadgets that kids have today growing up. My family didn't get a computer till I was Oh, probably like seventh or eighth grade. Um,
Yeah, I was gonna say I was probably like late high school ish.
yeah. I mean, I remember Pong. We had a Pong game when we were kids.
Hmm.
But we didn't have all of the stuff we have now. So we're going to talk about what we did and how we entertained ourselves and um, all that good stuff. So why don't you get us started off with your thoughts and
So,
prayers?
uh, T's and P's. So the like shenanigan kind of behavior things that we did. I just you think at the time that you're like sneaky or cool or funny or whatever, but then like now as I'm like old and I look back, I'm like, this is stupid. Um,
Like, what were we doing?
like you people really believed you. That's so dumb. We used to take because back when we were younger, like all of our parents smoked cigarette. Most of our parents smoked cigarettes, so we would take the cigarette butts and we would like stack two or three of them on the in the middle of the street. And then when a car came, we would go to the middle of the street and pretend like we were lighting it. And we didn't light it. There was no lighting involved. There was no light anywhere. But we would pretend like we were lighting it and then we'd run and hide. Why? Why did we do
I
that?
don't.
Why
I don't
did we do that?
understand.
I don't
We're
because we wanted the car to think we were lighting firecrackers and it was going to blow up the
okay.
car.
I was gonna say, like, were you pretending to light firecrackers? What the hell was
Yeah.
that about?
Yeah, we were pretending to light firecrackers as the cars were driving because we wanted to scare the cars. Not once was anyone ever scared. Not once. I don't think anyone even slowed down.
Well, and that reminds
Stupid.
me, like, you'd be playing in the street and you'd be like, car, and you'd all have to get
Yeah.
out of the street so the car could go by. Car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other
Um,
thing we did is we took like fishing line because it's clear and we tied it onto the two handles of like trash cans, like regular trash cans, not the big ones they have now, but like just regular trash cans. And then we'd put the string across, and so as the car would drive by it would wrap around the bumper and then take the trash cans with it. Why did we do that also? Like, okay, now you're out trash cans, now your trash cans are gone, now what are you gonna do? Why
yeah,
did we
and that's kind of dangerous.
It's super
You
dangerous. I mean,
cause an
they were
accident.
plastic but still, like, what? Why? What in our own neighborhood? Like,
Doing?
you don't think the people that drive up and down the street three times a day, every day, aren't gonna know who the fuck it is that just did that? Like, you're so stupid. Oh, they're never gonna know it's us. We did it in front of our own house. We are so
Like, they're not going to recognize you.
they're not
And
gonna
then you'd be like, oh
recognize us,
shit,
and
that
they're
was
not.
Mrs. Jones. And you like run in the house.
Right? Oh, she'll never know it was us. Of
You'll
course,
never
she's
know.
gonna know it was us.
Oh my
Oh.
God. Total pranks and
Now,
hijinks. Like,
yeah. So now, we ding dong ditching was fun. We did that. You couldn't do that today for a number of reasons. One, you probably get shot. Two, ring cameras everywhere.
mm-hmm.
I've seen some funny jokes on TikTok where the kid will run up and do it and go, I'm sorry, we're just as a dare. I had to do ding dong ditch. I didn't mean it. And then they run off because they know they're being recorded. But like,
Right.
it's just there's no ding dong ditching anymore. There's no prank phone calls. You can't hide your refrigerator running. Yeah, you better catch it. It just ran past my window. Like again, this is so dumb.
We called it fart and flush. So you'd
Oh,
have to have the phone in the bathroom
okay.
and you'd call someone and you'd be like, "Hi, this is the fart and flush company," and you'd make a fart sound and then you'd flush the toilet and hang up.
It's hilarious.
And then we'd laugh our
Hysterical.
asses off like it was
Yeah,
so funny. But
so
so
dumb.
dumb. So dumb.
Like so dumb.
So dumb. We
Toilet
used to
papering
just
too. We don't get to
yeah,
toilet
TPing
paper
was big.
anymore. Yeah, we don't do that
we
anymore.
we would do that like if we were having like a birthday party, slumber party,
Yeah.
we'd go to the whoever the cute boy that one of the girls liked, and
Yes.
TP their house.
Yeah.
And if you got your house TP'd, that was a big
It was
deal. Like, ooh,
that was a
somebody likes
that's a
me.
yeah, that was like a badge of honor to
Mm-hmm.
get
Yeah,
TP'd.
yeah, can't do that now.
No, they used to. My
Um,
kids, my daughter, they used to do forking, where you'd go buy like a big box of plastic forks, and you put them all in the lawn.
Mm,
you just stick them in the lawn. Like, it doesn't hurt anything, but you have to take them all out.
right.
You had 10 people to do
Um,
10 forks, and then one person has to pull them all out.
I've seen that with lawn flamingos,
Yeah.
where you just get a bunch of them and put them all over someone's lawn. Or what, I never did this, but you'd go around and collect all the real estate signs from the neighborhood and
Oh,
put them
that's a
on one
fun one.
person's lawn. Yeah, but
That's
not
a
the
fun
big
one.
ones that look like a wooden, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
the big
just the little
wooden
ones that
ones.
stuck in the
Yeah,
ground.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Or
fun.
garage sale signs or whatever. You gather all of those and stick them on someone's lawn. Um, we used to go straight out exploring, you know? I mean, it's like we had woods, we had this is
The
back when
cliffs of PV.
nobody had fences, so you could
Yeah,
just run from yard to yard. And if you would go to someone else's house, like you were visiting, you had to check out all of their cool spots. You know, they had to
yeah.
show you their cool hiding places and passageways and, you know, just that kind of stuff. And it's like, do kids even do that anymore? Are they even allowed outside?
Yeah, I lived across the street from the cemetery, and we used to hop the
Yep.
fence and go wander through the cemetery. There were a couple of boys that used to bring their golf club, and they'd hit balls just randomly working on their drives. There was a big place where they composted all the dead flowers that they do. We'd go walk by there, and then you had the big um openings that you could go down to the sewer system. So we'd go
Mm-hmm.
climb down there and go walk through. So gross.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
If you had a big drainage system
Yeah,
in
like
your neighborhood or your
huge.
town,
Yeah.
like we talk about that just walking around here because the drainage tunnels are so big, like because there's the groundwater, there's nothing, it doesn't absorb into the ground, so we have these big drainage systems. Like cats and dogs and wildlife can go through there, children can go through there, adults not so much. But I was thinking, we always talk about this when we're walking around, and we're like, if we were kids in this town, we'd be in those tunnels like crazy. And we didn't care about dirt and germs and goo. I mean, we were
No.
covered head to toe when we came home. You know, I mean,
Nasty.
we'd straight out eat like a donut off the ground that we found. It was like stuff like that. We didn't care. I think it
We'd pick fruit
made us
from random
stronger.
trees.
Eat those berries, I dare you. But yeah, and like I said, if you were visiting, because my parents had groups of friends, and we'd go visit, and or they'd come visit us, and you know the adults were doing their things, smoking, drinking, eating, talking, and they didn't know where the hell we were, but they knew
No
that
clue.
you know we weren't like far, we weren't like getting hurt. Well, maybe sometimes, but you know those were the funnest times was because we were all the same age and we all had our spots, we all had our games, and you know, it was just all about having fun and playing.
There also wasn't there also wasn't groups of 200 people starting fights on the beach that the parents had to work, or people ODing in the Target parking lot in Manhattan Beach. Or full circle,
Yeah.
right back to it. Like there was, or if there was, we didn't. That's always the question I ask when I see a lot of things all at once. It's like, is all of this happening that much more, or is it just because of the accessibility to everything all at once? We're just seeing more of it. It's probably a little both.
Well, and we always used to. They knew where we were roughly. Like we'd say, okay, we're gonna go show them this, that, and that. Like, or can we walk up to the Wawa and get candy or something? And you know, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Oh, okay, but just stay off the hot. You know, stay off that road. Go through so and so's yard, and don't. You know, it's like they knew where we were, but
Well, we could
yeah,
only get
things were
so
just different.
far.
You can only get so far, and you know nobody wanted to walk. We did have bikes. We all had
Yeah,
bikes. That was a big deal.
bicycles.
Was riding
Not
bikes and skateboards, roller skating. Um, you know, I think I
yeah,
only
we had
went to the Shamrock maybe 2 or 3 times before they closed it down, or I got too
we went a
old.
lot. I went so much. The place is the best. Shout out Shamrock Roller Rink, Torrance,
Well, yeah, they did.
California.
They did put one in PV, Rolling Wheels. It was an old movie
Yeah.
theater.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so we'd
There
go
was
there too.
there's a little mini insurgence happening of, like, they've done
Quad
a couple
skating.
of, like, Yeah, there's been like a couple of like pop-up the hotel down here in Huntington Beach, the Pasea. They used to do like an ice rink every winter, like at Christmas time, and you could just go. It's like a half sheet
Right.
of it's just like a little patch. But they did a roller one summer, and so you could go and you could roller skate it. We went. It was super fun, right? It's just,
Yeah.
it's you could buy drinks and you could get hors d'oeuvres and you could do whatever. You could go skate. You don't have to be staying at the hotel in order to do it. So that was kind of nice. There's an old group on a group of old guys on Twitter, like maybe 65 plus, and that's their thing, man. They go to the roller rink and they're just quad
Mm.
skating around and they're grooving. There's a pop-up, I think, in LA, like a rooftop bar or something that happened. They built a new one in like, I want to say Lakewood or Paramount or something up there. There's another roller rink. So there's a little resurgence happening.
Mm-hmm.
Might have to go check one out.
Yeah. Like I
Love a
said,
good roller rink.
there's a store here, Oh My Quad, that only quad skating, and they host, events and things, and might have to go check one out. Actually,
If
they do roller derby too, so
I was just gonna say, if you have a chance to go to a roller derby meet or game or whatever
yeah,
competition,
match.
highly recommend it. It is so much fun. It is the most bizarre, weird collection of people that you
Oh
would
yeah,
not put together. Like it's NASCAR meets LGBTQ meets
Barbie.
Barbie meets MMA meet it's every obscure group, and they all come together and they all are like welcoming and nice. And I mean, except like when you're, battling against each other,
Right.
but like it doesn't get ugly or weird. Like that it's normal competition for the two teams, but everybody in the stands is having a great time. The one they
Mm-hmm.
did here, it was like $5 beers and you could bring like it was a whole huge event and it was super fun and it was inexpensive and it was highly recommend. If you get a
Yeah.
chance, go see one. It's fun. It
It's
is.
funny. It's kind of, it comes and goes. Like the people that are
Yeah,
into it, they're, but it's
they're
in
into it.
popularity, it comes and goes. And I just remember growing up as kids at the T-Birds. The T-Birds were the big team.
Hmm.
And like
I
they'd
wanted to
make an
be one.
appearance on like Laverne and Shirley, or they'd pop up on a show or something like that where they'd get everybody involved. So now ice skating, not my thing. I was never really big on ice skating. We did it, but I
I
don't know.
I got kind of into it and like I bought my own skates just because I knew the shout out Pete Lucas who owned the Golden Bear, so I got a pair of skates pretty cheap. And then they also owned the little pro shop inside the ice rink, so like I basically could go for free. Like I just walk in and
Hmm.
go, like nobody stopped me. Also shout out Mark Horlocker who worked there. Um but like I just
God, those are some names.
the rink, I know, right? The Bay Harbor rink
Hmm.
is still there. I don't think it's called Bay Harbor, it's Skating Edge or something. Bay Harbor rink. So, but like I was like, it was a, it was something I could go do that was kind of fun. That like, I don't know, like the cute hockey boys were there sometimes skating.
Well,
So
that's really the only reason that we went, was to check out the
yeah,
cute hockey boys.
yeah,
But that came later. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I mean,
The
we had
beach.
toys.
Went to the beach.
We had
Went to the
toys,
beach a
but
lot.
toys, yep, we did the beach. Toys didn't do everything for us that toys do today. Like,
No.
our toys were meant to, like, you know, kind of, uh, they were designed for interactive play and imagination. So, like, you had toys, but the toy just didn't entertain you. Toy was part of your play.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's like lacking today, because I look at Legos and it's like I can see it's a helicopter. We didn't have to put it together and make something out of little square blocks. It's half the pieces are already, you know, look like a helicopter. So
It's
I mean,
almost like the Legos now are almost like a paint by number kind of thing where it's all of the pieces are
hmm
there for you to put together this thing. Whereas, like, we just got buckets of Legos, and you had to like you just built.
Yeah, you had to
We didn't
engineer
build a lot
it.
of Legos.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, same
We
thing with
tried to
like
make
Lincoln
swords
Logs
with
and stuff like
Legos. They
that.
would, yeah.
Yep. Guns. We tried to make guns. Um,
Yeah, I don't, yeah,
yeah, and
a
a
lot of
lot of
Lego
our
guns that
stuff,
didn't work.
exactly. A lot of our toys were, we were imitating daily life or creating some kind of fantasy world. Like I had the little Fisher Price people and Barbie,
Mhm.
and it's like, okay, here's the house, here's mom and dad, dad's going to work, and you drive him off in his car, and what are we going to do today? That kind of stuff. It wasn't like, all right,
It's
I'm
more
going to watch something on,
storytelling kind of, yeah.
yeah, storytelling. I'm not going to stream for 2 hours and, watch a bunch of
We
crap. And then our brothers were like, they had their GI Joes, their army men. They built like full
mhm.
on like, you know, army scenes in the backyard. They blew shit up with firecrackers. So that
We
kind of stuff.
actual firecrackers, not fake ones when a car was driving by. Idiot. We
Just the little ones though.
we yeah, yeah, well, there's a lot that we used to do, like we'd like create skits or shows where
Mm-hmm.
we'd come up with some stupid storyline, and then we would rehearse it all day while the like parents were like having a barbecue and drinking and playing whatever games they were playing. And so we'd create the show, and then like right before we were about to eat or right after we'd eat, we'd put the show on. They were
Yeah.
awful. They were
Oh
not
yeah, I
good.
did. I did puppet shows with my stuffed animals, and I'd write a whole script. Whole thing. I mean, they were awful,
They're
but
terrible.
they were
Awful.
terrible. Um,
Awful.
but yeah, we did a lot of like physical activity, like kickball, dodgeball, baseball, basketball, badminton was
Ooh,
huge. Does
capture the
anyone play
flag.
badminton anymore? We'd play soccer. Um, we'd do like at school when you'd have recess, the boys would go off and play soccer usually, or baseball, and the girls would mainly do like we'd play foursquare,
Yeah. Hopscotch.
um,
Oh, love
hopscotch.
hopscotch.
Um, we'd play kickball,
Jump
and then
rope.
like jump rope. Every once in a while, the teachers would be like, okay, we want everyone to play a game together. We want the whole class together. So that was either Red Rover or Scale the Wall. Did you ever play Scale the Wall? That's where basically two or three people are like and everybody stands in a line, and you have to run to the other side and make it to the line without getting tagged. But there's only like
Sounds
two
a
or
little
three.
like Red. Sounds a little like Red Rover.
Right, but you're not breaking through anyone's arms.
Got it.
So
A
basically,
lot
you're
of
just running and
yeah.
lining up on the other side, and there's two or three people, and they try to tag as many people as they can, and then eventually you're down to like two or three people, and everyone's trying to tag them as you
Okay.
run back and forth. Yeah.
A lot of we had a lot of there were a lot of variations of freeze tag, TV
Mm-hmm.
tag, color tag,
Mm-hmm. Red
random
light, green
tags,
light.
red light, green light,
Simon
Red
Says.
Rover. Yeah.
And we had
Hide and
playground
go seek.
stuff.
Oh, I
Hide and go
fucking loved hide and
seek.
go seek. A lot
Ghost
of
in the
playgrounds.
graveyard.
Yeah,
Um,
we used to quite frequently. There was a church there was a, if you I lived right next to an alley, and so if you went up the alley, there was a like a little church that had a little playground, and then if you went down the alley was Holy Trinity, which didn't have a whole lot to do in the schoolyards, but hopping the fence and going into a schoolyard when it's closed is fun.
mm-hmm.
And then when we moved, we were by like Dotson Middle School, and they had like a lot of like the when you walk to the classrooms were really really wide, nice concrete. So we used to go and hop the fence and then have our roller skates so we could roller skate because it
Mm.
was super smooth. And then there were
Yep.
some that were kind of like
You had
little
ramps.
hills and ramps and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, we did a lot of hopping the fence and couldn't do that today. They all have cameras and security.
Yeah.
You'd get busted.
Well, we had Vista Grande School and
Yeah.
nearby us. So we'd take our bikes down there. There was no
Yeah.
fences. You had all the ramps and stuff. You'd take
Yeah.
roller skates and then they had all the soccer games there on the weekend.
Yeah.
So like you'd go down there and other kids would be there. Um, we had, I think every playground in the South Bay had one of those rocket ships that you'd climb
Huh?
up into.
Yep. Yep.
My thing was the swings. I loved the
I
swings.
love to swing.
Slides.
Oh,
You
I like the merry-go-rounds.
you had to have a good slide. If you had a shitty slide, it just
Yeah.
ruined it. Um,
Nice hot metal slides.
nice.
Burn your butt
we
cheeks.
we swam a lot too. Like you mentioned, the beach. We'd go to the
Yeah.
beach. Um, if someone had a pool, that was like having crack in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
Um,
when we moved from the one house that I grew up into the next house after John and Priscilla got married, it had a pool, and so it was sun up to sundown. We'd
mhm.
go swimming
Oh
every day
yeah,
in the summer. That's all
yeah,
we did. I had green hair
yeah.
from all the chlorine.
That was always fun.
Yeah.
Um, and then, like I mentioned, we'd go visit people, or we'd have family parties, or barbecues, or get-togethers, and because we lived when we were kids, we lived on a river, so we had our own little beach. So we
Nice.
were in that water. We had a boat. Um, so we were in that constantly all day long.
Yeah, we used to the you if you had to go to the beach, we had one family who Ina Mariani, she was my best friend. Her mom and then the next door neighbor was her mom's best friend. They were stay-at-home moms. So in the summer when they'd go to the beach, they'd get up at like 8 in the morning, they'd load us all in, we'd go to the beach, and then we wouldn't come home until like 5. And like the moms were like head to toe like the Florida tanning bed lady tan, but it wasn't
They were
tanning
like
bed, it was the
leather.
rig. They were like tan leather. I just got sunburn a lot
Hmm.
usually and then would get tan, but we were, we'd go once a week to the beach and we were there for 7, 8 hours
Yeah.
straight, like just constantly nonstop. I don't even think we'd like occasionally we'd stop and like have a drink of whatever we
Hmm.
brought and maybe eat half the sandwich, but then we'd get bored and we'd want to go back in the like we just would.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then and then as we got a little bit older, if we couldn't get somebody to take us, sometimes my sister would take us. But then we'd take the bus, and the bus was like an hour and pick up at like right down the street off of Western and then go all the way down and around by Point Furman and all the way back and then drop you off right at Rat Beach. But like
Hmm.
that's all just that drive in a regular car is probably 40 minutes, and a bus with bus stops was like an hour and a
Oh yeah.
half.
Oh yeah. The bus.
Yeah, the
Good
bus
old
was
bus.
good old bus. I would you the thought of taking public transportation right now, like every day there's another incident on a God help the Olympics when they get here. The amount
Uh,
of people that are getting stabbed and shot and beat and pissed on in the metro,
yeah. No thanks.
hard
No
pass.
thanks. I
Hard
know.
pass.
Um, so one of the things that I was thinking about was when we would have like birthday parties, the little games
Mhm.
that we'd play
So
at birthday
dumb.
parties, um, like hokey pokey,
Yeah.
and we'd do Simon Says. And now my mom,
Hot potato.
hot potato, my mom, as I think back, she introduced us all to gambling at our birthday parties. All the kids got to
That
gamble.
away.
So
That away.
we would do the penny pitch, where
Okay.
she'd give every kid like either 5 or 10 pennies to start with, and a checkerboard. And you had to pitch the penny on the checkerboard. And if you got it on like the red square, you got your penny back. If you got it on the black square, you got your
Goes to the
penny
house.
back plus another penny, you know? And everybody would take turns, and you'd just keep going. And it was like you could see in some kids, you're like, uh-oh, that's going to be the gambler. That kid's going to have a gambling problem growing up.
Uh,
But it was like, oh, it's time to do the penny pitch, and the kids would go home with a handful of pennies. So, you
I
know.
remember it was either my 12th or 13th birthday. Oh, Priscilla got so fucking pissed at me. We talked about like, yes, you could have a birthday party, and we talked about like who I could invite. And so then I took it upon and that was just a brief discussion. And so then I took it upon myself to handwrite the invitations and then hand them out without like checking with anyone first. And like I scheduled the birthday party from like 10 to 5. on a
Jesus.
Saturday, like some ridiculous length of hours
That
to
wasn't a
which my
birthday
mom's
party.
like,
That was an
like
open house.
like, what the fuck are we gonna do with all of these kids here for this long? Like, what are you talking about? This is like, it should be a 2 hour thing. And then she fucking yelled at me, and it was like, we're gonna cancel. And I was just like, here I was trying to be like helpful and like, I'll take the initiative and you don't
Do the
have to do
party.
I'll do the invitation. Like, oh yeah. And so that did not go over well.
Sure, some parents were like, all day?
They probably were like, fuck yeah, take the yeah. I mean, hell yeah. Oh man.
My
Yeah, I
God,
don't.
that's so funny.
Yeah, she
That
was
is so
pissed.
funny.
The birthday party that almost didn't happen.
Um, so, and I remember like when you first discovered flashlights, calculators,
Yeah.
and the good old tape recorder. That was like
Oh,
childhood crack. And
dude, we
I think
used to.
playing with the tape recorder and making like you do like fake interviews and stuff
Yeah,
and fake
yeah.
commercials, I think that all prepared me for what we're doing right now. I think that was
Oh, we used to have
practice.
like fake ghost stories, and we used to try and like do noises.
Yeah,
That was probably from watching the Brady Bunch because I think they did a lot of that stuff.
maybe. Or they had the UFO. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. It was like a, what was that? Some kind of whistle or something. Greg.
Yeah, and then they had the flashlight, and they,
Yeah.
I don't.
But yeah, that stuff was like, that was like kitty crack. If you
Mm-hmm.
had, and then you'd play with the calculator and make it say boobs on
Make
there.
it say, yeah, make it say
Yeah.
hello. Turn it
Mm-hmm.
upside down. Hello. So
Um,
stupid. So stupid.
we, we had one of those big ass record players that people turn into bars. It's like a big piece of
Mm-hmm.
furniture.
Yeah, yeah,
And so we had my aunt's 45 collection. So we had monkeys and all these
yeah,
like 45 records that we used to play and dance around and, act
yeah,
stupid.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
I do know.
TV wasn't that big of a deal.
No.
Because, I mean, until we got a little older, we did watch a lot of TV, but there weren't a lot of TV shows on. It was like cartoons and then, okay, go outside. That TV's done.
Well, it was new. It was dumb talk shows that we had no interest in from like 3 to 4 or 3 to 5, and then it was the news from like 5 to 7, and then you had the like nighttime TV, which was
Mm-hmm.
either sitcoms or drama. And if you were allowed, and there wasn't a TV in every room. We had a
Right.
TV like in the living room only. So at 7 o'clock at night, you couldn't just go watch what you wanted to watch. You had to watch whatever your mom and dad were watching, or your
Yeah,
older
it was
brother, or
news.
whoever was in charge. Like you wasn't a lot of
Or like if
choice.
there was a mini series, Roots,
Ugh.
something like that,
Oh
you're
yeah,
like,
we're all watching that.
yeah.
Yeah, we're not getting out of that.
Well, and when we were kids in New Jersey, we had a rec room. So it was a split level house and the whole bottom floor was a rec room. So that was like our domain. And that's where all our toys were, the record player. We had a TV down there, like an old one. But yeah, we had all the board games. We had
Yep.
puzzles.
Yeah.
We did like arts and crafts kind of stuff and, drew and colored and um, it's everything was real simple though, It wasn't the fancy stuff that shrinky dinks. We did shrinky
Yeah.
dinks.
Shrinky dinks. Yep.
Let's get
Probably
toxic
like
in the house.
the most pivotal moment in like my childhood was when I got to have my own phone number in my own room. That was a really big deal.
Yeah.
Might have been like for my 16th birthday or something silly like that. But like I had my own phone line that I could
I
sit in
only
my
got
room and just
my
talk.
I only got my own phone because I had an extension in my room.
Yeah.
So I got my own phone, but I didn't get my own phone line.
No, I got my own
Yeah,
phone
my
line.
parents were like, "No, we're not doing that."
I was fucking
And
high top dollar right
yeah,
there.
you were.
But mostly because I would never shut up. And so my parents were like, we got to get her own phone line because
Yeah.
if we just let her use this one, nope, we can,
It's
like, somebody
no one
could
can
die
get
and we're
through
never going to know
ever.
because
Yep.
Sharon's in there just yapping away. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure was.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, most of the day we were out. And then when it snowed, we would sled. We would make snowmen. We would, have snowball fights. We'd still play outside. I think only when it was raining we would be indoors.
We'd
And
go out when it was raining.
yeah, but that's when you did your drawing and your coloring and stuff like that, or
Like,
you know,
yeah, I just like to color.
yeah. And
Big box of crayons.
I never really got into the colored pencil thing. Like
No, I
people
like
say, "Oh, it's
crayons.
relaxing." It's not relaxing to me as an adult. I have a big ass set of colored pencils and coloring books. I think people gave them as gifts when that was kind of trendy. I do
Isn't that
remember in school, if it was raining and we had to stay in, we couldn't go outside for recess. I
say
think
it?
it was called Altair Designs. Do you remember those books?
No,
They were
no, we play.
basically just geometric patterns,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
you'd
yeah,
color
yeah,
them. You'd
yeah.
color them, and someone would bring a
Heads
book, and
Yeah.
they'd, I want to
I
do
thought you were
one, and
gonna.
hand them out. What
I
do you
thought you
think
were
I was
gonna
going to
say
say?
Heads Up 7 Up.
Oh yeah,
Fucking loved Heads
Heads
Up
of
7
Seven
Up.
Up, Duck Duck Goose,
Yeah,
and like the teacher would put a record on,
yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, yep, yeah.
Oh God,
But
sit
yeah,
in
I
those
remember Altair
terrible desks.
Designs were kind of the precursor to adult coloring, and with our magic markers. No Sharpies. I think they were like the Bic set that had like 7 colors, and that's all you got. Yeah. So, and then, I think as we got older, we got Atari. That was a big deal. I think that was a Christmas gift one year for all of us, was Atari. And those are
That was
really, I never graduated from there to anything else. I never got Nintendo, or I think my brother might have a PlayStation or an Xbox, but it's like, as an adult,
wasn't interested.
I'm not a gamer on that level. So
We
I'll,
so we we had the little football bloop, 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 that one with that game. We had I didn't have an Atari, but Shauna Tad down the street, they had everything. She had Atari, so I just would play there. And then when my kids were like little, Zach had a PS2. Well, I think I was
mm-hmm.
working for Sony, so we either got one for free or I got one at a super good price. And then we got a Wii because when Rebecca was little, that
Yeah,
was kind of popular and fun.
I do have the Wii.
Those was kind of fun. And do the dance offs and yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, the Wii bowling was fun. I mean, I can't bowl for shit. That was another thing that we
No.
used to do, but
Oh yeah.
and still do kind of. Not has It's been a while, but it was someone's birthday. We'd be like, let's go to the bowling alley. But yeah, the Wii bowling is fun. I would use it to do the little, exercises, do some Wii yoga. Uh, but yeah, I just never got into the whole big, expensive video game
No,
thing.
I don't get into really anything if it's expensive. Nope, I don't do that.
Yeah, when my mom was here visiting and I told her how cheap I am now, it's like, oh, I'll find that at a thrift store. I don't need to buy that new. I'll find that at a yard sale. Like, I needed a new quilt. The my old quilt was kind of falling
Girl,
apart, and
Priscilla has 70 of
I
them.
know
What kind of team do you want?
my mom
Jesus
does
Christ.
too. I said, this is what
Yeah,
size I'm looking for. She's like, I don't have the size that you want.
you should go make
So
one.
I was at a yard sale, and I'm like, oh, perfect.
There it
It
is.
was like
Yeah,
$10.
yeah,
Take it home, wash it. I don't care if it
yeah,
was
it's
used.
fine.
It looks new.
No.
So, yeah, that's how I roll now.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of spending money. I don't. I'm trying to think, like what, like if is there something that's pretty expensive that I'm like I don't care. I'm buying it. Like there's not.
Mm,
There's not. I will try and find a bargain on everything. I will if there's I mean, I like to eat, so if there's a food thing that I like that's a little more expensive than I think I should be paying, but it's good, like I'll pay for it.
mm-hmm.
At like the 4 restaurants that we go to regularly, I overtip like a motherfucker because I just
Yeah.
love those places so much. Um, I mean, I only buy Diet Coke on sale. Like I don't know. I don't spend a lot of money on anything.
Yeah,
Everything is
it's just
so Everything else is too expensive. You know what my biggest expenses right now is probably fucking electricity.
Yeah. Good old SCE. Yeah, yeah. Well,
I
that's all I
shouldn't have
got.
to I shouldn't have to pay for SCE's supercomputer and their failed electrical that caused fires. You should pay for
Yeah.
that. Shouldn't
You got all
jack
those
my rates up
fires.
because thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
But
Yeah,
you are better
oddly
than your neighbors.
I am. Thank
And
you again for
Edison
reminding
reminds
me.
you that
Thank
you are
you.
better than your neighbors.
Yes. Oddly enough, the one thing that has not gone up in price, watch, I'm going to say it and then it's going to go up in price, but I get Laura Scudder's all natural peanut butter from Costco. It's 2 jars, 2 big jars for $9.99. That price hasn't changed in at least 10 years. It's been
Okay.
$9.99.
So I'm
So it
getting ready
must
to
be a US thing because there are no tariffs to increase the price.
I'm getting ready to go to Costco
I got to go
after
too.
we're done with this. Now,
Yeah.
our Costco here, they just renovated the food court. So I'll have to report back to say what's
I
going on.
believe it's the caramel churro ice cream sundae thing. That's kind of the new treat thing
Hmm.
they've got. Zach got it. He said it was meh. Um, just bring back the regular churro and then let me dip it in the ice
Hmm.
cream. Like I don't need you to build it for me. Um, ours
Now,
is
I'll
just has the
say,
basic.
you know that I'm not a fan of coffee ice cream. We've had that
Correct.
discussion.
Yes, we have.
And there was a
A
little
little bit.
food truck where we used to live, Mexican food, and they did a dessert, and it was a
Mm.
churro ice cream sundae. And they used, it was a scoop of vanilla, a scoop of coffee, and then pieces of churro in there. Now that was good. Now I could get behind that whole thing, and I didn't mind the coffee ice cream. It was
Okay.
actually pretty good. Yeah.
All right.
But apparently, what they've done at my Costco is they've kind of flipped around where you order because they said it gets too backed up with
Okay.
the
Yeah.
people checking out. They've taken away some of the sit down tables and put stand up tables. People are all up in arms about that.
God.
But it's like people were having full on birthday parties on a Saturday afternoon in Costco in the food court. You can't do that. You can't take over two huge tables with your birthday party for two
That
hours.
is
You can't
that
do
is
that.
the most ghetto thing ever. But
Yeah.
also, like, if you love Costco, like some people
Hmm.
just love Costco. I don't
Well, they don't
know
want
that
the
I
mess in
want.
their house. The pizzas are all, they'll go grab a
Right.
cake,
Let's just get
they'll order a pizza.
just sit
Everything's
here.
good.
You get a
All right.
cake from you get a sheet cake from yeah. I don't.
That's all I got. So, what you
All
talking
right.
about, Willis?
So I have two little ones that one is not really a new one, but like I feel like I just want to start saying more of that's either part of my journey or that's not part of my journey. I want to start saying that more. I want things to be a journey for me now.
I did see something similar to that. It was a video on how to politely say no.
That's
And
not
I
part
think
of my
that was one
journey
of them, like,
today.
that's not part of my journey today.
Yeah, but I just want to start saying more of that. I think I feel like that's gonna bring me good vibes, and it goes with my pretend wannabe hippie culture that I'm trying to embody right now. So I think I'm gonna start saying it.
Well, mine, I heard, it might be new, it might not be new, it's new to me. But it's, dude, you can't reheat those nachos. Like, we're past that. We can't fix it. We can't make it
It's
work.
like
It's ruined. You can't reheat those nachos.
that's also with the call your Uber, man.
Yep. Yep. Or, you know what? You need to stop because you're just reheating nachos at this point. Just let it go.
Let's go.
Just let it go.
Just put that thing to bed, man,
Yep.
bro.
That's all I got.
That's all I got. I mean, now I do remember quite the funny story. Party in the booth at work last night. Car comes up. It's like 9:15. Parking lot closes at 10, and so this group of people come through, and they're from Alabama. They're from out of town. They don't know. I'm like, I said this parking lot closes in a half hour and it's $15. I said the beach closes at 10 o'clock. They're like, well, we just wanted to go out and see it. I'm like, you can, but at 10 o'clock you need to get off the beach. If the police come by and see you out there and you don't leave, they will arrest you. And they're like, "Whoa, really?" I'm like, "Yeah, they will." They're not about like it's too dangerous for you to be out there at dark with not not because they don't want you to have fun, but like we have tractors that come out and we have like if you're not paying
They don't.
attention and they
They're
can't
gonna
see
run
you,
over you.
you're
Yeah.
gonna die. And if you go out in the water and something happens, like there's
No
nobody to
one's coming
help
to
you.
save you.
And it's too dark, and so like at 10 o'clock they want you all to go. I'm like, you can go walk out to the end of the pier, you can go put your toes in the sand real quick, you can walk along the bike path, but like don't go hang out on the beach. That's not a
Mm-hmm.
thing. And like they were smoking cigarettes. I said also like you can't smoke on the beach. Like you can't really like you gotta go out to the sidewalk to smoke.
Yeah.
You can't even be smoking right here. Like it's they're like, oh wow, wow. I'm like, yeah, like we're pretty serious about that. We're from Alabama. We don't know those things. I'm like, well, you're not in Alabama yet.
Welcome to California.
Welcome to Huntington Beach, where we don't let you have any fun sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just stay home. You can have
Just
all the
stay
fun you
home.
want.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't go to the beach.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a
Yeah.
girl I just found on I don't know if it was Instagram or TikTok, and she's from Alabama. And she she went on like a 10-minute rant about Walmart basically, and how people have no self-awareness, like the cart is sideways blocking the entire aisle. And she gets to the self-checkout, and it was mainly aimed at old people who are not real fast, and
They are
aren't good with
not.
some of the technology.
Mm-mm. They are
And
not.
and it was just funny to listen to her. She does a whole thing about she explains everything that's going on in Iran, um, and it's pretty funny. But yeah, I don't do self checkout because I don't work here, so
I
it's
do
very
it
rare
because
I'll do self checkout.
yeah. I do because I don't want to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm never buying more than 4 or 5 things anyways. So for me to just get my shit, go in, not talk, and go.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm
Like if
good.
I
I'm
have
okay with
just a handful of items and there's no one, if and there's an open self checkout, I'll do it. But most of the time, I'm like, no, I'm waiting. I don't work here.
yeah.
I
No,
don't work here.
that's fair. I don't want to talk to people, so there we
Yeah.
go.
And now what they do at Costco is when you're in line,
Oh,
if you
yeah,
don't
they
have a whole lot of
pre-scan you.
items, they pre-scan you, which is kind of nice. So, but yeah, most places don't even have enough people for check stands, much less
That
pre-scanners.
is true.
So
That is true.
Costco's the only one doing that right now. So that's it.
That's it. That's all I got.
That's it. Happy day in
All right.
America. All right. Well,
Happy Hockey Day. Go Kings, go.
yeah. Go Kings, go. Hope they win.
We all hope.
It's hope might be all they got at this point.
Maybe. Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. All right. Well, have a good week.
All right. Peace out.
Okay.